Dire team ban.
Game, welcome
Radiant
to
team pick.
Game 1 in the best of 5 final, grand final in the Southeast Asian qualifiers between TalonEsports and Polaris Esports. Talon qualified directly through the upper bracket, defeated T1 yesterday to claim their spot here, and Polaris have done it the hard way. They've come through the lower bracket and have knocked out T1 in the lower bracket final in a series that went all 3 games. So Polaris, some might say that they're a little tired. Maybe they're unfocused after their games earlier today. However, I tend to think that they're just warmed up and ready to get into this final.
5 seconds.
Initial bans will be the Enigma and the Death Prophet from Talon. Polaris wish to remove the Puck and the Faceless Void, just going straight in for the jugular with those bans, knocking out the big AoE control heroes. And the Makoto Puck was outstanding yesterday against T1. I don't think you can give Makoto Puck. He was too good. So first picks will be Undying for Talon and Marcy and Omni Knight for Polaris. So strong opener from Polaris. You know, and that Omni Knight, good counter to a lot of abilities. Just grab it straight away in the draft, and it's becoming more and more first phase material, this Omni Knight. Marcy can be 3 or 4, so there's good versatility there in the draft. And Talon, they picked an Undying. Now, if you've been watching my stream, you should be aware that, you know my thoughts on support Undying. For Undying, Talon have a very good shot at winning. Support Undying, we may as well just move on to the next game. It's going to backfire one of these days, but you know what? Not yet. It hasn't backfired yet. Talon grabbed the Morphling, so just want to get that POS 1 locked in nice and early, and 23 Savages hero, and just build their draft around that. Often those POS 1 heroes will be left to the 4th or 5th pick, so they aren't counted too easily, but Morphling's pretty hard to counter. It's more about what you build around the rest of the draft. Morphling can survive fairly well, has good mobility, has good damage late game, can go physical or magical. You know, there's lots of avenues for Morphling to go down. You go for the Aghanim Scepter, you can go for your own physical damage. You know, it's what you want to do. So you pick it early, and then you just build the draft around it. I think that's perfectly acceptable from Talon. Talon will ban the PL. After watching probably their game 3 against T1, they're saying, no. Natsumi, no PL for you. No PL for you. And the Naga as well, yeah. So they are just banning Comfort straight off the bat. They are not allowing Polaris to give Natsumi the hero they want. I'll probably leave Arc Warden in the pool because that didn't seem as impressive. Well, at least with the build he went for. I think his Arc Warden play was impressive. I think the build they decided to go for in that draft wasn't particularly good. Polaris will get rid of Invoker and Pangolier. So they're still just banning control right now. You know, AoE control. You look at Puck, Faceless Void, Pangolier. All big AoE control. Invoker, same deal. AoE control. Cyclone, Deafening Blast. All that sort of jazz. They are just not wanting to fight against big AoE ultis. They want to have smaller abilities that they can counter with this Omni Knight. And if you notice, the Bat and the Beastmaster are both in the pool, and they'll probably be happy to leave it there, Polaris, because you picked the Omni. You have the counter. The counterplay is available. AA taken out by Talon. That's an important ban. Undying, Morphling both have fairly big weaknesses to the AA, so certainly not letting that one get through.
Radiant team pick. Lena.
And now they're mid laners. Polaris' draft is coming together pretty cleanly and nicely here. So with the Lena, that should be dominating the mid lane. And once again, they're picking heroes that have sort of a bit of AoE, but not big team fight abilities right now.
seconds
And
remaining.
judging from what they banned out on the side of Polaris, they're trying to get those type of heroes out of the game. As I said, Pango, Invoker, Void, Puck. Just getting rid of these big ultis because they're not really planning on picking big ultis themselves. They want to have a bit of a faster line. Look, Marcy, Lena, Omni Knight. Yeah, they do have ultis that take a while to cool down, but, well, Lena's not much at all. But the rest of the heroes still functions pretty well. Like, Lena is really an LSA. Marcy, it's the rebound, tossback. A rebound, tossback into LSA with Dragon Slave. That's going to kill pretty much anyone without the Laguna or without the Unleash. Oh, Talon. They grab the beast. It's the big boy. Primal Beast has been unleashed. And that would probably indicate this is a support Undying.
10 seconds remaining.
I'd be surprised to see a 4 Primal Beast and a 3 Undying.
5
But that would
seconds
probably actually
remaining.
be the better play.
Dire team pick.
Rubik. Okay. There's not really great spells here for Rubik to steal at this point. I guess a Heavenly Grace. I still say Repel. After so many years, you know, of saying Repel as Omni Knight's W. Yeah, it's just ingrained
10
in there.
seconds remaining.
I guess you could steal Heavenly Grace. LSA, you know, Lena spells
5
aren't
seconds
bad.
remaining.
But there's no Fissure. There's no, you know, Black Hole. There's no really big, impactful ones you might want to grab. Supernova.
Radiant team banned.
Actually, Rubik's spell steal against Viper's pretty good because you either get the Nether Toxin or the Viper Strike, and both are very good on Rubik. So that's actually not bad. But Viper picked up for Polaris will mean that's their off lane. The Marcy Viper off lane. Oh, it's
10
disgusting.
seconds remaining.
It's absolutely disgusting. They have to abuse it.
5 seconds
Just
remaining.
abuse that level 2 timing on this Marcy Viper. Even level 1, you just toss someone back in and spit on them. It's very, very strong. If it's a Rubik in the safe lane with the Morphling, that Rubik will not be living for very long against that lineup. But it does leave them somewhat short of sort of front line here, Polaris. Look, compare the drafts. Talon, Morphling, very tanky. Primal Beast wants to get in. Undying can get in.
Radiant team banned.
These are heroes that don't mind being in the front line, but for Polaris, who's your front liner? Who are you dangling for the Omni Knight to save? Like, it's certainly not the Lena. I don't think you want to dangle the Viper either. Like, yeah, he's got the innate magic resistance, but
10 seconds
it's really not the
remaining.
hero you want to put forward. You want someone a little tankier than this. You want someone who really wants to be in the front line. Someone who benefits from being in the front line for the side of Polaris. Talon, they're picking their mid last, so the Ember will be banned out. Maybe Void Spirit as well. I mean, yeah, you still got Storm and Void Spirit available. Earth Spirit's been a hero that's sort of fallen out of favor the last few days of regionals. Last sets of bans. Ursa taken out from Talon as well. So recognizing that Polaris need a safe laner that can somewhat sort of frontline. Maybe it's a Medusa.
Dire
They
team
ban the
banned.
Slark. Maybe they pick a Medusa Polaris. Gives them someone to hang their team fight around. They do ban the Void Spirit, actually. Polaris. Storm is available. Pretty damn good as well against the heroes on Polaris. I mean, what have you got? An LSA? An LSA and a rebound to lock him down? No one's going to naturally build
10 seconds
an Orchid.
remaining.
Maybe Viper could. Storm Spirit seems
5 seconds
pretty
remaining.
good. And fits in with your draft well. Can link up with the Primal Beast. No natural silences. No, not a lot of stuns. We'll get plastered in lane by Lena. Don't get me wrong. But if you can get past the laning phase with this Storm Spirit, would do quite well. I mean, there's still Anti-Mage is available as a last pick from Polaris, so you probably don't want to grab Storm with their Anti-Mage still there. Not that I think Anti-Mage should be ever picked at the moment.
Dire team pick.
It's Tiny. Yeah. So good burst from the mid lane. And it's similar. Move around with the Primal Beast. Get some pick-offs, scale into that mid game, and decide what items you're going to go for. Tiny's one of those, go core Tiny, you can get really what you want. And mid Tiny, you get the Echo Saber, get the Blink, and then really it's up to you. Whatever's feeling your fancy. And it's the Pudge. Well, they did need a tanky POS 1 for Polaris. So it would be the Natsumi Pudge. Okay. I mean, so what's the tankiest POS 1 we can grab? And Natsumi gets on it. For the side of Talon, 23 Savage will be on the 1 Morphling, KP on the offlane Beast, Mikoto will be the mid Tiny, and then Q on the Rubik, and Hyde on the Undying for the supports. For Polaris, I don't think there's any surprises. The 5 Omni Knight by EU. Force will be the offlane Viper. It doesn't really feel like his playstyle, honestly. Xavius for Marcy, and the Louch mid laner, and Natsumi on the Pudge. I think Force is the type of player you want to give a bit more of an active offlaner. He really thrives playing on heroes that can make some outplays and really get in there and get involved. And the Viper's very slow, very immobile. Not the sort of person you just burst someone else down with. It's a slow death. And there will be BKBs coming out from Talon. AP, 23 Savage, Mikoto probably will be grabbing BKBs at some point in this game. It is a 5 Undying, so if you're a Talon supporter, be sure to cross all your fingers and toes, because you're going to need it. Maybe we'll see 5 Undying win. Maybe I'll look like an idiot for once. Maybe this will happen. I'm not convinced though. Yeah. Quickly do these as we're moving out. On his kill streak. Don't know. Let's just guess. So both teams moving out with the smokes, getting down their early vision. So Ob's up on the high ground here for Polaris. See some anti-rotations coming from that side, and similarly, Talon whacked down a ward pretty much in the exact same spot on the opposite side. Put down one in the mid lane for their mid laner. Tiny. And where's the fourth Obs? Here it is. Xavius is still hanging on to this last Obs here for the side of Polaris. So, Natsumi, it really depends on the start he gets on this Pudge. If you get off to a decent start with this core Pudge, you can really steamroll through the mid game. If you get off to a bad start, then you just feel like you're playing a support hero from behind, and it doesn't feel good at all. Really throwing down the decays. They want to try and contest this. I'm not sure. Top rune as well. No, it will just be left. So each side should be getting 2 runes to their liking. And we move into the lanes. So Mikoto in the mid lane with his Tiny. Xavier's still around. We'll be laning over against Louch on the Lina. In the top lane, we'll be seeing Natsumi on the safe lane Pudge, supported by Yao on the Omni. Up against Primal Beast, being played by KP, and supported by Q on the Rubik, +4. And down in the safe lane for Talon, 23 Savage on the Morphling, laying against Force on the Viper. 23 Savage will be supported by Hyde, and Xavius will be making his way bottom as well. Top lane, Q securing those range creeps with the Fade Bolt. And Natsumi, love the hook level 1. Does have to be careful against KP with the trample and the uproar. Can really get on top of this Pudge and hurt him a lot. The Omnight will have to be there with the saves to make sure he can try and maybe turn around and fight with the Rot. I don't think you want to be taking trample damage as a Pudge. I don't think the rot level 1 or even level 2 will be enough to compensate for the damage coming out. Until you get that level 6 and you can just eat up the Primal Beast. It's going to be pretty hard. Mid lane, Lina 6 and 3, Tiny 5 and 1. This gap should widen. Okay, Lelouch on the Lina with the Fiery Soul. It just gets worse and worse for this Tiny. We'll deward the camp. Davius getting that sentry down, so should be a creep spawn in 20 seconds unless Hyde can get around there to block it again. Yeah, Lelouch just clicking on him, Makoto. Look at this, 4 hits, 4 right clicks just then, just forcing it back. He's got the bottle, but still hard for him to stay in the lane. It's very tanky. Should get a few last hits to begin with, but once that Dragon Slave starts leveling up a bit more, he's going to really struggle. Level 1 in the poison, and corrosive skin at the moment. Double decay. Love to see it. Get a little more value out of that level 1 ability. Natsumi has the rot and the hook. Hard to tell where the first blood's going to be in this game. Maybe on the bottom lane with the Marcy. Like, this is a dirty lane. Once Marcy gets level 2 with the rebound, you can chuck the Undying back in. It's hard. He's got a Tombstone. 23 Savage can deal a lot of damage. But I think maybe it's where it's actually. Maybe top lane, actually. AP coming out with the trample. Natsumi does get the Heavenly Grace. A bit of regen. Plus the spells. Bonus strength. Will be fine for the time being. I see Hyde, but Xavius is more interested in pulling the creeps through to have any action onto him. Trample available again. No uproar stacks, so they're being very careful not to attack AP at the moment. Make sure he's not getting those free stacks. Otherwise, he can get the slow out as well as the bonus damage. Mid lane, Louch. Oh, he got tossed back in, yeah. Actually tossed back under the tower, so will hurt up, but a little bit of regen. 21-6 to 13-1. So you can see that gap is really starting to widen here against Makoto. Bottom, they drop the Tombstone. They will just hit it, and Hyde could be in trouble. Tombstone down. Another poison attack. Force trying to trade over onto 23 Savage. Hyde is ticking. Does actually survive a little bit longer. The poison is starting to stack up. There's the 5 stacks, keeping the 5 stacks active. Rebound stun comes in. Is there a dispose? There isn't, but we're keeping the 5 stacks going. Does he have any more mana? 23 Savage is just healing through it. Ooh, almost actually dies to that final tick there as he agi down. Shifting through that damage. Of course, the lower you get, the more damage the poison attack does over time, so have to be careful. But Tombstone was farmed, so it's pretty much a hero kill in this bottom lane. Undying is somewhat useless for the next part in the lane. Can't go anywhere near the 2 heroes of Polaris, otherwise he will just die without that Tombstone protection. Natsumi's starting to get a bit aggressive. Wants to get on top of KP, but KP says, I'll just turn around with the uproar and give him a bit of a hit. A few denies. Big boy against big boy in this top lane. Pudge only level 3. AP is at 4 now, so 2 levels in trample. Force needs a way to sustain some mana. He's sending out another mango. Pop himself up a bit, but if he wants to use this poison attack, he needs a little bit more sustain in terms of the mana regen. Avius has 10 wands, so can go in. There is level 2's Tombstone available. I don't think he can kill 23 Savage, but they get the double, and maybe they've rethought about this. In the poison attacks on the 23 Savage, making it still a little bit wary for him to move forward when the attacks are coming out onto him. Mid lane again, 38-8 to the 26-2 of Tiny, so he's not getting completely shut out of the lane, but certainly Lina is getting the start that she would want. Bullying that lane and getting a lot done. Top lane, in terms of the CS, Pudge has 22-1. The KP on the Primal Beast has a lot better. The 34-12. Rune secure. Hyde is coming over. Lelouch, a little bit low on mana. Won't spawn or spawn top. But all of the... Look at this. Rotations from the supports of Talon. They came both sides. Oh, he knows. Trying to get up to this bounty rune. The Louch was going to get it, so he will be fine. Both mids will get a bottle refill. However, it was a regen for the Tiny, so a lot more value for him there. Back in the top lane. Still no first blood. 6 minutes in. Both teams being quite tentative. Q. The level 2 in the Fade Bolt. Actually, Trample comes out. Natsumi could be in trouble. Lift comes out. Force him further under the tower. There's the Heavenly Grace. And thinking about a hook. Let's just get the creep. Tombstone hasn't been used on the bottom lane, so with some quite aggressive lanes, no one's gone down just yet. And maybe a bit of a foreshadower into how this game's going to go in terms of the sustain in the team fights and how much burst you're going to need to get through a single target. Again, Natsumi, this time he's in trouble. He has no support from Omni Knight. Omni Knight comes and is there in time. The level 1 purification. Give him a little bit more of a heal. But Natsumi is getting shut out of this lane. Bottom lane. Tombstone is dropped. They're on top of Force. And Makoto's here as well. I think this will be our first blood. There's the decay coming out. And with the toss, it will go down. The Force, Giant's bottom lane will be the first blood. 23 Savage will grab it. And he loves that. After enduring this Viper lane, 23 Savage gets his revenge. Finishes him off. Moving back mid lane, Makoto's here. It's night time. If you get a stun, be able to hook up with the Rubik, but no, they don't go for anything. Waiting for the runes. Illusions at top. Makoto will get it once again. So the Louch, despite having a really good start to this lane, his supports haven't really come to rotate and help. So Tiny, with the help of the support securing the runes, he just had a much better sort of transition into this early mid game. Lean at the top of the net worth charts. Pudge not doing too badly. 3,000, still above the, although Tiny's just jumped up there. But yeah, Natsumi's certainly not had a good start to the game. Look at all the creeps coming in here. Oh, Force, he's gonna love this. Oh, the XP, the gold. One last hit. Actually, top lane. Natsumi's running in after KP. The level 2 in Rot and the 2 of the Flesh Heap. Let's get back to the last hitting. Oh, yeah, let's see it. Come on. Yeah, there's another one. CS. Don't miss him. Nice. Oh. Yeah, that was much needed for Force in this bottom lane. Almost got to level 6. And he's still at the bottom of the net worth for cause, but certainly a lot better than what he was a few moments ago. Tombstone drop. Waveform coming forward, but the rebound will get him out of the way. Makoto, he's coming across with the backstab. The Avalanche, he'll find it. Maybe. Yes, he does get it. With the Soul Rip coming through and Force, he has level 6. Has committed it. But it'll just be Hyde that dies on the way out, I would think. I don't think you can TP from this. And yeah, with the poison ticking down, that will be enough. Top lane. Natsumi's getting a little more game against KP. KP has the Pulverize. 1000 HP against 1300 HP. KP coming out. Actually, the Onslaught rolling through. Doesn't quite connect. Makoto is here. But Natsumi evades that little maneuver. And the TP top will be wasted from the mid. Infused raindrops on the Marcy at the moment. Wants to be a little more survivable against the magic damage. So a little bit more regen. Continue to go around and cast those spells. Omni Knight, he completely ignored the Hammer of Purity, which I think is really the oh wow, the instant D ward. I mean, did ward catch him? I caught him walking through. Yep. Actually, another one here. 2 wards caught him walking through. So I'll know that there's some ward vision in that area. Jumping in with the rebound, catching the Rubik. LSA does miss. Laguna doesn't, though. It's a point target. Rubik will go down this mid lane. And Marcy, really valuable pick. You know, that rebound stun, it's a long-range initiation without a Blink Dagger. You can get him, throw him back, and away you go. And it is ticking back up. Hyde showing the mid lane. Might actually bring Xavius back over. He's got the Unleash. Jump in, is on to Hyde. There's the Unleash. Tombstone put on the deck. Saying kill the Tombstone, they should be fine. Xavius actually gets the Heavenly Grace. Purification coming out on top, and he's still hitting. Trying to get onto KP. Hyde Pops the flesh golem. It's just the tower that dies. Everyone else lives. There shall be no dying in the mid lane. Just the towers. Force still struggling. As a Viper, you don't want to be at the bottom of the net worth charts. You know, 12 minutes in, you should be someone who dominates your lane, kicks your opponent off the lane, and just continues to scale with the free farm on the lane. Hasn't been the case this time. Natsumi, still no flesh heap stacks, so missing out on any kills. 3 heroes top now, no tombstone, no flesh golem. Q's actually quite low on mana. Does have a level 4 Dragon Slayer, so it's a decent amount of damage. But Natsumi will sense that something is not quite right. No, he wants to go back. He's thinking about it. There's 4 here. You will die if you go back to that tower. Natsumi had a perfect game. Game 2, didn't die. Game 3 against T1, didn't die at all. So he's come in feeling pretty fresh, and Spidey senses are tingling there, and is able to evade a death. So tier 1s look like they will be traded. Throwing those trees just to make sure there's no one TPing in under vision or not in vision, and that will go down. So with the sidekick, level 2, extra 35 damage, level 2. Will mean they can get that tower. But still reasonably slow engagement to this game. We are 13 minutes in, only 4 deaths. A couple of tier 1s have fallen, 3 tier 1s actually have fallen. At the moment, there's really not been any large group ups or team fights from either side. So claiming a stack here from Polaris. They'll go yum 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 yum. Balouch. As I'll eat all of that up with that sidekick damage and lifesteal. Assuming he needs to be careful. He's not particularly tanky right now. He doesn't have the Vanguard, just the Ring of Health early, so let's be careful. Tries to hook in hide. It will be missed. Level 3 Tombstone, ready for the next fight. Working towards level 4, almost has it. The Louch is getting stronger. Farming up some ancient camps. Actually has the Lancer Pursuit. But when the ancients run away from you, turn their backs, you get a little bit of bonus damage. 3-man smoke now. This is really the first concerted effort from either team in this game to try and have a bit of a team fight. Flesh Golem popped. Xavius tries to get the Arcane Rune, but is saved from the Heavenly Grace. Blink is revealed from Makoto, and Tombstone used, but that's it. That's it, the Omni Knight. This second pick Omni Knight in the draft, just sitting behind the heroes that are going to be gone on. The positioning is key. You can't just pick Omni Knight and go, oh, we just dispel our heroes, we keep them alive. You know, Omni Knight had to be literally sitting there right then to save his ally from that movement. And that's where he was. So quality movements coming out from EU. And once again, no one dies. I'm going to try and do some stacks here. We'll probably get both off, actually. 1, 2. So some stacks in the triangle, the side of Talon. Actually, teamfight bottom lane. They're going in with Xavius, getting on top of the Rubik Q. I was seeing a lot of damage to the Polaris to turn around. Morphling will go down. Hook. Finish off. And in the middle, Natsumi, he wants to keep fighting. He's feeling strong. Toss back, dispose. Does catch on to Makoto, and the Tiny dies as well. Natsumi gets a double kill. And good movement there from Polaris to catch Talon napping. I mean, bit of a false sense of security. The game's been moving at such a slow pace. All of a sudden, there's a strong movement from Polaris, and they get the picks. And Pudge gets 2 stacks on that flesh heap. Gives him some strength. Force has the Dragon Lance working into the shard. Well, they see him. There's an Omni Knight around. They pinged it out. Not sure they actually see him. There's no vision, but I think they have a suspicion he was there. They have some wood, a wood in the top side of the jungle, which may have seen the movement through. The Makoto sides, the blinking in would have been not the wisest idea. Discretion was the better part of valor then. Especially when they saw an Omni Knight in the area as well. They come in with the onslaught, blink initiation. With the avalanche, they toss back and they use the pulverize as well. He's still alive, actually saved up from EU. And I mean, as long as this Omni Knight is somewhere around, they can't die. Xavius, how did he live there? I guess infused raindrops, seeds of serenity, has the magic wand. Got 1300 HP. He's not an easy pos 4 to bring down, and the smoke movement is up again. They're going for it. Who do they want? They unleash his online. They're smoking bottom. They want to try and connect up maybe with their Viper. They see Makoto. They get the oh. I guess the damage tick was not instant. I guess the damage tick was not instant. Certainly, Xavius thought that they'd cancel the Blink Dagger and he rebounded in. Didn't get the kill. AP working towards BKB. So he will be unfeathered in the fights. Untethered in the fights very soon. But 5-man movement now from Polaris. They are coming for this bottom tower. And look at that. KP says, oh, this is the neighborhood I don't want to be in. Lena has shown up. There's a Viper here as well. Likely that Natsumi's in the region with a hook. This is not a healthy place to be. And with the shard on force, they will just take that tower. And 5-man smoke, they want to try and find a fight here. Natsumi. There's no rune. There is one bottom. Invis. Roche is ready and available when the time comes. KP has used the pulverize in the onslaught temporarily. If they knew it, they might just run up that high ground. The Louch just raises Roshan's ire for a moment. But both teams. Roshan's going to be pretty sick of these Dragon Slays. One from one side, one from the other. It's like, what is this, a barbecue? Top side, they see 23 Savage. The Louch is here. He has an LSA, the stun. Rebound, it's going to follow up. Laguna with the unleash on top. Dispose back. There's the waveform. He's trying to get out, but he can't do it. The 23 Savage will go down in this Morphling. As the Falcon Blade and the Yasha moving towards the Manta plus Skadi, but a long way off for those. And Natsumi has the Aghanim Scepter. He's actually had a very good start to this game. Post that laning phase, and he's caught up now going to the BKB afterwards. And the Roche is just falling too quickly with 23 Savage dead. I'm not sure they want to go in. Rubik has the Dragon Slave, might try and get a snipe on it. That would have been, if it actually directed it where Roche was, I think he might have got the snipe. It would have been perfectly timed. That would have been a pretty pog play there from Rubik. Just maybe didn't want to get any closer than that.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Hook is available. Level 2. Natsumi with the Aegis. Aegis Ags plus a Nether Shawl. Actually, this is pretty dirty on a Pudge. Did steal the Nether Toxin. That's a good one to steal as well on the Rubik. You really want that one. Is that gonna... I mean, it disables the passive on Viper. Yeah, as a bit of a turnaround effect there. It disables the passive on Viper, the corrosive skin. It gets rid of the fiery soul, or at least them gaining any more stacks. But the Nether Toxin is actually pretty decent against the draft of Polaris. 2 TPs bottom. See if they can find anyone out. They're pinging out 23 Savage. They're on the run. Looking. Oh, he's gone further down. He's trying to TP, and the LSA is just not there in time. They knew exactly where he was. The Louch on the Figure mid lane though. Tombstone has been dropped. In the middle of the fight is Natsumi. He doesn't care for this 5 undying. Zombies? What zombies? He's just tripping around on his hook. His intestine hooks.
Radiant's middle tower is under
He just ignores the tombstone. Doesn't care at all about the tombstone. Little hook, throwing it out, see if he can catch anyone. This is painful. This is actually painful. The cast range from Arcane Supremacy and the Toxin. Level 2 at the moment. Once it levels up, it will be very good. Actually, LSA catches on 23 Savage. There is no TP this time, so the team's collapsing. And Primal Beast get there to help in time. KP's on his way with the BKB. Secondary stun catches. Here comes the Primal Beast with the onslaught. BKB pop. Are they going to try and get on to KP this time? Do they have the damage? Look at the damage already coming out from the Louch with the right clicks. But they still know that 23 Savage is around. They're hunting. He goes back in. Top side. We're going to find him. Through the trees, maybe. There he is. They're pinging him out. 23 Savage, he's here. Toss him in. Dispose. Unleash. A lot of space here for 23 Savage, but eventually they will get him in. And he'll go down. I mean, if that was anyone but 23 Savage, you'd sort of be happy in the place of Talon. You'd go, you know what? That's not too bad. That's not 5 heroes top, but it is your POS 1 who dies in that situation. So it kind of makes it worth it for Polaris to get that Morphling. Aghanim Scepter being worked on by Rubik. Q. He wants a couple of spells this game. Nasumi blinks in with the eat straight on to hide. He says, "You are fresh meat. I'll add you to the collection." And up in the top lane, KP's on the run as well. No BKB for 20 seconds. He gets caught by a good little steal there. Was it now still level 2? He hasn't leveled it up, of course. In fact, is he going to level it up? He's just going to attributes. There's an argument for not leveling this up. But, I mean, you've already put 2 levels in it, so you have to continue. The Viper doesn't really get a lot of value against any heroes on the side of Talon in terms of the break. Maybe just the Arcane Supremacy on the Rubik. That's about it. Actually jumping in with Makoto. Toss back. The Avalanche to follow, and they grab him. They're chucking him up and down. Can they get the save? They do, but it's not enough. In the middle of the fight, the Morphling, he's starting to hit pretty hard onto EU. Won't be able to make it away. He'll die. Polaris, it's falling apart. Xavius dies as well, but that was without their 2 big cores. The Louch and Natsumi were on the other side of the map, so that was a rotation with neither of their 2 biggest, baddest heroes on the map, and it shows. That Pudge in the middle, it's very hard to do anything about it. Shadow Blade. I'll try and catch, actually, the hook. Oh, it just misses. The Louch is still hunting. He still wants to get it. He will connect. Alice with the Laguna on top. There'll be an eat from Natsumi with the rot. And even though the initial hook missed, it was greedy to hang around for that additional little bit of farm. Made him pay. Looking for more. Natsumi, he's not done. Has Aegis for 10 seconds, so does need to be careful. Talon will be aware of the timings on this. 1800 gold away, Makoto. Has got a Midas. Blink Dagger blinks in, and he gets the kill on the Omni Knight. But what will it cost you? Unleash popped. The Dispose back. The damage is coming through from the Rot. And looking for more. Rebound. Xavius trying to go forward. They're pinging it out. Q will just get away. So yeah, you killed our Omni Knight, but your mid died for it. Certainly a trade that Polaris will take any day of the week. Only objective on the map, in the outer base, is the tier 2 at top. So TP top immediately from the Louch. He wants to control this triangle area. And as 5 at the moment, I think Polaris are pretty strong as long as they're around this Pudge. Grabbed himself a Hood of Defiance with the Nether Shell. Actually, what's his magic resistance? It's at 50%. 50% magic resistance for the Pudge. What about the Viper? 43% magic resist. With the 4 levels in the corrosive skin. He's working on a Skadi. Of course, he wants to slow people down so much. He wants to spit on them. He wants to throw some snow at them. He's going to slow them down. Is that the plan? Just rot, slow, Skadi, poison, make it impossible for any of them to get away. Heck, get the degen aura. Oh. Sumi runs straight to KP. He can't TP out. Boosts him. BKB, duration. Trying to TP. The hook is there. Ooh. It pierces spell immunity. I'm not sure why he waited so long to use the meat hook. It was ready to go. So Natsumi, just let him get away with one there. I think that should have been a kill. Maybe in that moment he wasn't sure if hook actually cancels through BKB, but pretty sure it does. Pierce the spell immunity.
Dire are scanning.
Mikoto hanging on to a gem, close to having the BKB as well, and it's an odd build up for the Tiny, getting the hand of Midas. I mean, it's not bad. 40 attack speed on Tiny. Someone who suffers a lot from attack speed. Actually be able to use the tree attack and the tree grab for physical damage instead of just throwing it away because he swings so slowly. It's not terrible. It's not something you see very often either. So 10k net worth lead now to Polaris. They're controlling the map. You see KP, he's pinged out. They know he's up here. Trying to get any sort of XP. Will show on the lane. TP immediately. But Lelouch is already hunting. The stun is there with the Laguna. Hook to follow up. And Natsumi says +1. +1. They're waiting. I want to find some more, but you gotta be careful. Don't go without your strong heroes. Mikoto blinks straight in with the poison attacks. No Skadi just yet. Break. This is a passive. Does this get broken? I'm gonna be checking next time that he's under the effect of the nether toxin. I don't think it does. Pretty sure he keeps the bonus armor and damage. I'm 90% sure that isn't affected by the break on Viper. Doesn't say undispellable. Smoke coming, well, not smoke, but Talon moving through their own jungle. There's actually a smoke coming from Polaris. Natsumi has got a Shiva's guard completed up. He wants more. Looking over to Lina, seeing if anyone's in the area. Now there's the 5-man smoke from Talon. They want to make a movement. Q doesn't have the Aghanim Septia. He's about 1,000 gold away. KP with the blink and the BKB. Kodo BKB fresh as well. 23 Savage has his Skadi. Roshan is there if they just want to go in, and maybe that's the call. Okay, they could find Xavius. Careful. Force doesn't want to get caught. Actually, there's 3 of them. There will be a save potentially. There is, plus the Guardian Angel as well. And Pudge is in the middle. He's eating him up. Viper will go down on Force. KP grabs the Pudge and whacks him up and down with the Pulverize. Lelouch, though, meanwhile, has just unleashed on the Morphling. 23 Savage can't get away. Look at this attack speed. Look at the damage. It's too much. Mikoto has to pop the BKB. And Lelouch gets a triple kill. So that was a fight initiated from Talon, and actually, well, they know he's here. They're pinging it out. The Blink Dagger will get him home. The Shiva's guard just not quite hitting. Viper did die. They couldn't save him from the damage, but once again, at what cost? Natsumi gets some more stacks, and Lelouch will clean up the Aghanims. Is that having a shard for himself? I think it should be. With the Silver Edge, with the damage he's pumping. Oh, he gave it over. Who did he give it to? To the Pudge. So, Dismember. Targeting the ally. Swallowing him up with the old swallow. You'll be safe in Pudge's belly. So if there is an initiation from the Pudge, there's 2 ways. Sorry, initiation from the Tiny or the really the Primal Beast. With the Pulverize, there's 2 ways to save. You've got the Pudge Eat, or you've got the Omni Knight Dispel. So, 2 ways to save the person who's gone on first, and yeah, and realistically, a way to save each other. So, a Yao could get caught off. So there, we'll just TP out. I think someone's in here. He's not wrong. If he walks south, he'll find him. Ward is there. Will be removed. So the Omni can save the Pudge and the Pudge can save the Omni. And that's probably the more important thing. Because if Omni gets caught and no one can save him, then the fight does start to look a little bit poor for Polaris. But Pudge now has that ability. Actually, this TP is just coming straight in. Natsumi does not care at all. TP in, TP out, and the whole team battles. They had their whole team there. Natsumi TP's in this level 20 Pudge, and they scatter for the tree lines. Extra dismember duration, 0.8 seconds. We'll have an overwhelming blink soon. And Pudge has completed the Eternal Shroud. The items are just rolling in. He's not even top net worth. He's 4k ahead of the Morphling though. 23 Savage.
Radiant are scanning.
Hasn't really progressed further on. He's looking for a BKB now to try and stand in these fights, but even that might not be enough. Position 5 Undying is doing nothing as per usual. Had slight impact in the laning phase, but now basically just a walking creep that occasionally chucks down a totem on the ground. Skadi close being finished on Force. And Natsumi might just blink up here, honestly. That sort of feels like the mood he's in. Double damage on the Lelouch. Look at it go. Plus the sidekick. Oh, that tower, it doesn't exist. They have to go in. In they go. But blink in from Pudge. Guardian Angel comes out, protecting the whole team. Rebound stun, catches the Undying. Probably will die in the middle of the fight. KP goes down as well. He tries to actually make a bit of space for his team, but that was not the place to be. Wraith Pack on the deck. The damage mitigation is there, and this Rax is gone. And they go on bottom. The DD still has a little bit of duration. Look at the damage. Oh my goodness, with the sidekick. It's so much. Glyph comes out and goes the Pudge, trying to get the rod off, but it's so much with the LSA on 2. They're trying to get the Pulverize on the Pudge, but for what? He's just walking forward. It's the slow, inevitable death. He throws the hook out, does some fishing, and this bottom Rax will fall. Lelouch on this Lina. Satanic ready as well. You can't bring him down. Now with Natsumi in the front, Lelouch as well. Force just really just being in the area. That's going to just give me megas from one fight, really. Going in. Let's try to get the hook. Buyback from Tiny, but at this point, you may as well have waited. The Rax is gone. That's your megas. Done. And Polaris, are they done? They just want to keep going. They might just want to keep fighting. Aegis is there for 55 seconds. Why not? Just keep clicking away. Stun. Does connect from the rebound. Makoto tries to break the chain stun, but the Heavenly Grace out onto Xavius, and the hook back in with the eat. Makoto's grabbed, and GG is called. Game 1 goes to Polaris in this best of 5 grand final series.